Hello everyone and welcome back to your favorite YouTube channel, the 1138 Nerd Herd, the channel where we talk about, review, and discuss comic books, superhero movies, and pop culture in general. Once again, I'm your splendiferous host, Cascio Pistachio, and in this issue of the 1138, we continue our series review of Ignited. Ignited is published by Humanoid Press and is co-written by Mark Waid and Kwanzaa Osayefo, with art by Phil Briones and coloring by Andrew Crossley. We're covering issue 2 this time around, and if this is your first time with us and you happen to miss our Ignited first issue review, you can pause this video, click on over to our content page, select the Ignited number 1 review, enjoy it, give us a like, and leave a comment there. Then join us right back here for the continuation of this fun-filled, fantabulous review of Ignited issue number 2. But before we get too heavy into that, how about a nice recap? In the Ignited world of story, the Phoenix Academy High School suffered a mass shooting. In the wake of this tragedy, the school principal, Principal Romero, implements a new policy to arm the teachers with firearms to better protect their students. Unbeknownst to him, a group of teenagers have somehow gained superpowers, and 2 of them, Wave and Viral, are leading the charge against this new policy. Another student, Anouk Lovari, is strangely drawn to and fixated on these 2 Ignited, but has yet to figure out why. When last we saw our heroine, she chased Viral onto the roof of a school building just after he and Wave used their abilities to incapacitate the newly formed neighborhood mini-militia, the self-proclaimed Student Protectors. At that same time, I'm guessing, Marisol is being questioned by some detective regarding some terrorist acts recorded on video. But that's only a one-pager, with no conclusive end, so obviously we'll be getting back to that. Then we flash back to 2 months ago to the mass shooting, to get a peek at Wave's secret origin story. I won't say where he was or what he was doing at the time he was shot. I want you all to read that for yourselves. But of course, from the premise, you can surmise this is when his powers were triggered or ignited. Again, leaving the details for you to enjoy yourselves, I can say I really like the description Shai gives regarding his sensations while being triggered. It was like electricity over my whole body, and a crazy light around me, like it was swallowing me. But there's something else. Not adrenaline, not anything from the shooting itself. A new feeling. And Wave kind of goes through something similar to that of what Dr. Jonathan Osterman went through when he was transformed into Dr. Manhattan. In this flashback, it isn't shown to us what happens to his body. One could assume the kinetic impact of the bullets ignited his ability, and probably almost instantly changed his body from flesh and blood to the radio waves he becomes. It's a cool 2.5 to 3 page origin sequence, which of course may have taken place over minutes, hours, days, or weeks. It would be interesting to see a longer, more detailed exposition or extrapolation of Wave's origin sequence. But here, essentially, you get the gist of it. And I guess, basically, his powers include the ability to see through the viewport or view screen of any device that receives radio waves. We won't know the full extent of his abilities until sometime later, but for now we have this barest inkling of Wave's origin. This is what he relays to Anouk on the roof of the school building. But there seems to be a beat or a step missing in terms of dialogue and interaction that more than likely took place seconds after Anouk found them on the roof. But I imagine it was written or edited this way as a means to keep things moving and come into issue 2 and hit the ground running. But as a way to sum up the idea that Anouk is connected to Shai and Callum, before she heads back to class, she asks Callum if he saw the strange lights too. He did, but she doesn't say anything more after that. I think we can all guess seeing the lights is a part of all the Ignited One's origin sequence. There's a bit of intrigue, as in the next sequence. Anouk is at home wondering what Viral and Wave are actually up to. Of course, considering what we know from the previous issues surrounding the principal arming the faculty and the teachers with firearms in order to better protect the students. It would seem to me, or probably obvious to all the readers, that this is what they were talking about. Last issue, Viral and Wave issued the the ultimatum for the teachers to stand down on this new policy, or they would stand them down, which is what they did. Again, go back to my Ignited #1 first issue review for that review to get caught up on that. But the thing that stands out is Anouk reaching into a dresser drawer and pulling out some strange mini computer flash drive, or I'm not sure what it is, but that's what it looks like. I know I'm approaching my reviews very loosely, so I might have missed it, but I don't remember seeing this object in the first issue. It probably wasn't even shown, which is probably why I'm bringing it up now, and probably why it's being shown here in issue 2. So that's cool. We obviously have another reveal to look forward to. Whatever the device is, it prompts her to sew herself up a nifty new mask, which of course suggests that she intends to follow in Viral and Wave's footsteps, or do something equally wild and stupid on her own. We still have no idea what her powers are, but the fact that her mask is themed after a black poodle or a black sheep gives us some indication, if not of her powers, perhaps even her personality. The next day at school, the student body president, who I want to say it's that guy Anouk called Ty during Marisol's intro in issue #1, but I'm not sure, is holding a protest or something showing his full support for the principal's policy of arming the teachers with firearms, which clearly sets the divide that for now is just a plot simmering on the stove, soon to reach its boiling point, which seems to be exactly what Anouk is thinking. So then we get this interlude with the principal and his lieutenants. The mayor just chewed him out over last issue's mass cell phone hack attack. Now, I don't know much about city hierarchy and things like that related to a public school system and all that, but it just seems kind of funny to me that the mayor would be calling the principal of a school to chew him out over something like this when, I'm sure it's under the mayor's jurisdiction because he's mayor of the city, and if the school is operating within the city, he has jurisdiction over it. But I also, and it could just be something I don't know anything about, but my familiarity with it, living here where I do in California, is that there is a school district that oversees the school's funding and things of that nature. So I would think maybe it would be whoever is the leader or the CEO or the emperor of the school district would be the one contacting the mayor. Contacting the school principal and not the mayor. But like I said, I don't really know much about city or state politics, so hey, whatever. That's what the story's doing, so we'll just go with it. Principal Romero seems to have a real mad-on for his loss of control and looking incompetent as well as impotent, but he also seems poised to end up being a central antagonist on maybe a middling scale, if not a large one. Heck, for all we know, he may even be one of the Ignited. So then, after a bit of comedy on Anouk's part, we get Viral's origin story. I'll let everyone who picked up this issue read that in full detail, as I don't want to spoil it for anybody, and so you can enjoy it for yourself. For this review, I'll just sum things up to say Viral's power seems to encompass biological germs and viruses. Whether or not this extends to computers has yet to be seen. Here comes the crazy part, and it's almost a mirror reflection of what happened at the end of last issue. A black, seemingly armed and armored SUV rolls up to where the students are holding their demonstration. The roof-mounted cannons fire into the crowd, and the shimmering lights Wave spoke of earlier emanate from the car. But instead of bullets or grenades or something, all flittering little lights become hard light or origami birds. The same kind Himari had sitting on her desk in her art class in the first issue. And then they start attacking the pro-gun demonstrators in the quad. And once again, students are on the run from someone firing harmful projectiles in their direction. Viral figures Tank Boy, which I'm assuming will end up being his code name once the group is formed, might know something about what's happened to them and approaches. Likewise, Anouk, just as curious of the connection they all apparently share, dons her own mask and follows suit. The assistant principal is on hand for the fracas and gets pictures of Viral and Anouk just after they put their masks on, but it's not clear if he gets pictures of them before they put them on. So there's some nice worry and anticipation for you. Tank Boy, recognizes Viral and gets out of the SUT and excitedly greets him and admits he's a really big fan. But you get the feeling Viral's not so easily flattered and doesn't let his guard down too quickly. But before Viral and Anouk, or we the readers for that matter, can learn anything more, the local police arrive in force. And that's our cliffhanger for this issue. My thoughts? Pretty much all the praise given last issue easily passes on to issue number 2 of Ignited. The writing is solid, characterization is strong, and there's intrigue and just a touch of action. Coloring is just as impressive as issue 1. This whole second issue rocks on all levels. At this point, all I can do now is wait for your comments, questions, insights, and evaluations. So, if you liked this video and enjoyed this review, please click me a thumbs up or leave me a comment or question below. But don't take my word for it. Run out and get your copies of Humanoid's Ignited numbers 1 and 2 right now. Don't wait a minute longer. But as I speak, issue number 3 has already dropped, and as more and more of the story unfolds, the greater the interest in these new characters and this new title will grow. So don't be left behind or caught out in the cold. Run, leap, fly, do whatever you've got to do to get over to your local comic shop and pick up the first 3 issues of this great new series. Or if you're still on the fence and not quite sure you're ready to go all in just yet, or maybe you feel you need one more really cool review to knock you over, hit that beautiful red subscribe button on your lower right so that as soon as my Ignited number 3 review is posted, you'll be one of the first to know. Just make sure you also have notifications turned on and all will be right with the world. And with that, I bid you a fond adieu, happy holidays, and as always, have a good read.